NBL showdown. It's the Lynx and the Fire at the Bendat Basketball Centre in Perth. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our ESPN WNBL Game of the Week, brought to you by Cygnett, Australia's leading tech brand. Jason Bennett alongside four-time WNBL champion Kelsey Griffin for Perth and Townsville. And Kels, this is the first of two season-defining games between these two teams over the next 4 days. And there might be a couple of games you look back at the end of the year and say, well, that was the determining factor of who made it and who didn't.
Absolutely. I think every game going into the end of this season now is so important. And I know it's cliche to say, but these two games for these two teams, I can't say there's going to be much bigger.
Yeah, it's going to be massive. As we check the league ladder and explain you, it shows just how tight things are after 12 rounds. Pay attention to the losses column. Teams have played different number of games, so just one game really separates first and fifth in that losses column. Back-to-back losses cost the Boomers top spot. The Flyers now the leaders. But the top three teams are all locked together on 4 losses, including the Townsville Fire. The Spirit and the Lynx sit one game back on 5 losses. So if the Lynx get the win tonight, they join Townsville. Things will tighten up even further. But if the Fire win, they move 2 games clear of the Lynx. So it makes for a massive game this evening. Well, the big story in the WNBL this week is... Do you want to come back on us? Or you just want to go straight into it? Maybe come back to us, just briefly. Yeah. The big story in the WNBL this week has been Shyla Heal's transfer from Sydney to Townsville. The Flames issuing a brief statement today confirming her departure. Shyla returning to the Fire after spending the 2020 hub season with the team. Do I need to read the statement, or people can just read it for themselves, right? There's quite a bit of wording there. So, mid-season player moves aren't all that common in the WNBL. In fact, this is the first since Denisha Stallworth was cut from the Stars in 2015-16 and transferred to Canberra. But it is completely legal for any uncontracted player to sign with another team. And then to be eligible to play finals with your new team, WNBL regulations stipulate a player must play a minimum of 7 games with that team. And tonight, well, it's Townsville's 7th last game. So if Shyla plays all of the Fire's remaining games, she will be eligible for the semis should Townsville qualify. That in itself, far from certain, of course. Kelson, you raise a very good point that teams have played a different number of games. So 7 games left in a season comes at different times. Maybe we need to look at tightening that up.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting one. And if you look at leagues across the world, WNBA, EuroLeague, NBA, there's usually a deadline. There's a point in the season where no matter how many games you've played, that's when it is. And so I think it is really interesting considering there are teams like the Canberra Capitals who have already played 17. Yeah.
Flyers couldn't sign her. Spirit couldn't sign her. They've played too many games.
Exactly. So I do think it's something that might be worth looking into reviewing just to make sure there's equity across the teams.
Let's welcome the third member of our commentary team this evening as we head courtside and welcome in Candy Hertz. And Candy, well, it's been a frenzy of activity over the last 24 hours.
It sure has, and it is wild to see Shyla out there tonight in a Townsville jersey. It was only made official today. She turned up in Perth just yesterday and has signed a contract for the remainder of just this season. She hasn't even had a chance to properly train with the team yet, but like you said, it's not a bad thing. She was with the team through the hub season, so she's familiar with Shannon. She knows how he works, and she also knows 6 of the players on the current roster. So I think there's a chance we might actually see some chemistry out there tonight. When it comes to Steph Reid and Loz Nicholson, though, let's talk about their injuries. They are game-by-game check-ins with their fitness. So they do need to pass a fitness test. Steph passed hers today. Unfortunately, Loz didn't. That doesn't mean that she's out for the second game against this team later this week. I'm excited to be your eyes and ears on a very interesting game on the ground here in Perth tonight.
Thanks, Candy. Really looking forward to this one. There's a number of dimensions to this story, Kels. From a pure basketball perspective, what does the arrival of Shyla Heal mean for Townsville and the overall title picture? So if we've got time, do you reckon we'll have time, or we'll have to talk about that during the game? We'll have to go to the keys to the game. All right, we'll just get straight into the keys to the game.
So, for me, I think Townsville needs to keep this game on their own terms. They need to make sure it's in the half court and execute. Attack ball screens. They know how Perth's going to play. That doesn't change very much. And also rebounding. Rebounding is going to be so important in the battle of possessions.
Meanwhile, the Perth Lynx have been doing plenty right. They've won 7 in a row. What's their keys to success tonight?
The Perth plays an up-tempo game. They're going to want a lot of possessions so they can get their 3 balls up. They're also going to want to play in transition. They like to play fast-flowing and be able to move the ball, spread the defense. And then for them, also winning the possessions. They're great when they rebound.
So if we've got any more time about that, we'll dig into Shyla and, you know, what does that mean? I mean, how does her arrival impact the offence and the defence, and how much do you have to simplify your game plan when you're bringing a player in, and, you know, all that sort of stuff. We can sort of talk about that in the early going.
Great finish.
She's going to work. George puts up a long-range three and nails it. Kayla G for three. Back to Nicholson. Off the glass. Three ball. Unbelievable.
Been an impressive performance.
Shot, she gives it off. Almost a half court from Melbourne. It's gone. And the look on her face says it all. This remarkable Cygnett WNBL season is fast turning into a game of musical chairs. 5 teams eyeing 4 seats, one of them destined to miss out on the finals. And round 13 tipping off with a blockbuster between the 2 hottest teams in the competition. The Perth Lynx have come from nowhere. They've won 7 straight. They've moved within a game of the top 3. Well, the Townsville Fire have won 5 in a row to join Melbourne and Southside at the top. A winning streak is about to be snapped, but will it be Perth's or Townsville's? It's a high-stakes WNBL showdown. It's the Lynx and the Fire at the Bendat Basketball Centre in Perth. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our ESPN WNBL Game of the Week for this week, round 13. Jason Bennett alongside the 4-time champion Kelsey Griffin for Perth and Townsville. And Kelsey, these 2 teams played twice in 4 days in Perth. And you sort of get the feeling you might look back at the end of the year and these might be the games that decide who makes it and who doesn't.
It really is. And while there are still a lot of games left in this season for both of these teams, these two games could be quite pivotal in just how finals plays out.
Let's take a look at this league ladder, which just seems to get tighter every week after 12 rounds. Let's pay attention to the losses column most. The teams have played a different number of games, so look at the losses. That's how you get a really good handle on who's where. And so there's only one game really separating first and fifth. Back-to-back losses costing the Boomers top spot. The Flyers now the league leaders. The top 3 teams all locked together on 4 losses, including the Townsville Fire. The Spirit and the Lynx just 1 game back on 5 losses. So if the Lynx win tonight, they join Townsville. Things tighten up even further. But if the Fire win, they move 2 games clear of the Lynx. So it really is a massive game tonight. Well, the big story in the WNBL this week has been the transfer or the release of Shyla Heal from Sydney and then her signing with the Townsville Fire yesterday. The Flames issued a brief statement confirming her departure. Shyla returning to the Fire after spending the 2020 hub season with the team. Now, mid-season player moves aren't all that common in the WNBL. In fact, this is the first since 2015-16 when Danesha Stallworth was cut from the Stars and then transferred to Canberra. But it is completely legal for any uncontracted player to sign with another team. Now, to be eligible to play finals with your new team, WNBL regulations stipulate a player must play a minimum of 7 games with that team. Tonight, well, it's Townsville's 7th last game. So if Shyla plays all of the Fire's remaining fixtures, she will be eligible for the semis should Townsville qualify. But Kels, teams have played a different number of games at a different number of times in the season. The Flyers, for example, have played 16. The Caps have played 17. So when you reach that 7-game mark, it comes at a different time for everyone.
It really does. And, you know, for me, I think maybe this is something where we look to other leagues across the world, EuroLeague, WNBA, NBA, and is it time to maybe have a deadline, a point in the season instead of games played?
So
because,
a date.
Exactly, a date that these acquisitions can occur. Because injuries do happen, things happen. There does maybe need to be movement and there needs to be that freedom. But is there a point maybe if there are going to be a different number of games played that you create a date so that every team has that equal opportunity?
Yeah, it's an interesting point, isn't it? Lots to talk about over the coming weeks. Well, let's welcome in the third member of our commentary team this evening. Candy Hertz is courtside. And Candy, it's been a frenzy of activity over the last 24 hours. Tough to keep up with it all.
It sure is, and it was wild a moment ago seeing Shyla warming up in a brand new Townsville jersey. In fact, she only just made it official today, arrived in Perth yesterday, and has only signed a contract for the remainder of this season. She hasn't even had a chance to properly train with the team yet, but that's okay. Like we said, she was with Townsville during that hub season, so there's already a bit of respect and rapport with the coach and with 6 of the players on the current roster as well. So I think there's a chance we're actually going to see some chemistry out here today. Now, if we talk about Steph and also Loz Nicholson's injuries, the important thing to note with both of those is their game-by-game fitness check-ins. Steph did pass hers today, so we'll see her out there. Unfortunately, Loz didn't, so she won't be suiting up, but that doesn't mean that she's out for Saturday when they take on the Perth as well once again. The good thing is I'm here today to be your eyes and ears on the ground in Perth. I can't wait to see how tonight's game plays out, and I'll be sharing it all with you.
Thanks, Candy. It's going to be fascinating to see how Shyla's arrival impacts Townsville on offence and defence. They're keys to the game tonight.
I think Townsville needs to play the game on their terms. Half-court possession is important. Attack ball screen defence, they know how Perth's going to defend ball screens, and rebound. Battle of the boards will be key.
From a Perth perspective?
Up-tempo. Perth likes to play in transition, shoot the three early and often. And also they're going to want to win possessions. Again, rebounding is going to be so important, but not also having costly turnovers against that Townsville defence.
Well, it's one of the most critical games of the season to date. The league's 2 hottest teams head-to-head in the race for the finals. Perth chasing made 6 of her last 8 three-pointers. She is white hot from range.
She has really found her form, and that often happens with imports in the WNBL. It takes them a while to settle in, and she certainly has.
On fire at the moment, Robbie Ryan added another dimension to this Perth team. Away comes Sharp.
And I really think she was the piece early for them. I won't say that's missing, but it was just finding her feet. So I think that really has been one of the keys.
Scherf, lovely find to Atwell. The thing about Perth that's impressed in this 7-game winning streak, Kels, is on any given night, a different player steps up to take the lead.
Absolutely, and that's something that you normally don't see from a center, but Scherf's not afraid to throw that pass, and that's a key for them.
Atwell. Ryan, does she pull the trigger again? She'll try and weave her way through. She's got all those moves. Won't drop. Here's Michaela Roof. Samuelson from long range. That's her go.
And that's going to be important for Townsville. Samuelson in their wins has been very key. You won't want to be going underneath too many of the dribble handoffs or ball screens against her.
Shooting 45% from three-point range. That's an over and back.
That was a good adjustment by Mick Roof. Scherf was able to throw the backdoor cut to Atwell earlier. And Mick knew it was coming. She saw it. She had her hands up and was able to get that deflection.
Carly Samuelson, as I said, shooting 45% from three-point range this season. She's deadly if given time and space. So the Fire out to a 2-point lead. 2.5 minutes gone. Wednesday night hoops on ESPN. Great to have you with us. Shyla Heal starting on the bench. Steph Reed on the bench as well. Lauren Nicholson not suiting up for Townsville tonight with that foot injury. Hawkins Ledger Walker. He's got more opportunities in the absence of those other injured guards. That one just a little short for the Kiwi international.
And that's the shot Petrick is prepared to give up.
Lose the handle. Hawkins back to Ledger Walker. Feeds it through. Roof kicks it out to Samuelson. We've already spoken about her prowess from long range, but not on that occasion. Away comes Sharp. Scherf, the playmaker, finds Sharp. Another bullet pass from the big.
And that's great recognition by Lauren Scherf again. Coach Shannon will want Hawkins to get up and be ball pressuring so those backdoor cuts can't happen so easily.
Samuelson responds.
Again, that elbow jumper with Scherf playing such deep drops defense will be open all night. So it'll be interesting to see if the Fire keep going for it or if they explore different opportunities.
Whitcomb loses control. Hawkins flips it off to Ledger Walker. Here's Samuelson again. Puts the spin move on, gets to the rack. 2 more for Carly. Great start.
It's been really great by both teams. I think it's going to come down to who starts getting some stops here.
Only a free-flowing offense early on, and Robbie Ryan responds for Perth.
And that's the danger with Perth, is that you're so worried about their three-point shooting, the driving lanes can open wide up.
Woods. Roof to Samuelson. Well done, Michaela Roof keeps it alive here for Townsville. Kicks it back out to Hawkins. Samuelson tries to step around Ryan and draws a foul in the process. Seabomb providing instructions from the sideline. Good start here for Townsville.
Really good start. You can see Samuelson, in the absence of Nicholson and Reed, has been really aggressive and something she's very capable of doing. It'll be interesting to see who else gets going here for the Fire.
Ledger Walker back out to Samuelson, and again they leave her open. As you mentioned, Kels, they're more than happy to let teams shoot from long range. But when it's Carly Samuelson, you may need to tighten up.
Definitely. It's going to be one of those things that usually Coach Petrick is prepared to give up the dribble jump shot right around the elbow, but these threes I wouldn't think he'd be too happy about.
Well, gets her own board back. It's beautifully stolen from Ledger Walker. She's got Hawkins with the mismatch in size under the hoop against Whitcomb. Bibby gets there to support. And Scherf can come away with it. Carries it down the floor, Lauren Scherf into the key. Kicks it wide for Bibby. Sets her feet. Won't go.
And Townsville's doing a really good job of being one and done. They're getting their defense, they're hitting the defensive glass hard, and that's allowing for them to get this nice little lead here in Perth.
Hawkins managed to get Scherf in the air but couldn't finish. A little fumble there from Whitcomb. He flips it with a little bit of frustration to Bibby. Off to Scherf, and she nails one from long range. Back to a 2-point game.
And that's what happens with Perth, just like that. With their three-point shooting, they can get back into a game so quickly.
Shyla Heal trots towards the bench, ready to the table rather, ready to check into the game at the next stoppage as Samuelson adds another couple. What a start she's made.
And that was all set up by what she's been doing on the three-point line. Perth thought they had a top blocker, and she was able to just back cut.
Carly Samuelson, 14 of Townsville's 16 points so far. what an incredible start. Scherf working on Hawkins.
It really has been. I think it's been great recognition, too. I think Townsville runs everything with purpose, and that's what was always going to be interesting about this game was would they play at the Lynx tempo or would they be able to execute and run in the half court? And you can see that there's been a real emphasis to find Carly Samuelson, and she's been calling upon herself as well. She knows what she's capable of.
The substitution, Shyla Heal comes in for the first time for Townsville and joined by Zatina Akuzo.
And this is interesting because will Shyla play more of the one or more of the two? Ledger Walker's been doing a great job in the absence of Reed, so it'll be interesting to see. And as she does, she carries the ball up the floor, so they're playing Shyla in more of the two spot.
Lovely finish there from Scherf on the left. She's got 5 points. Ledger Walker now to Heal. Puts it on the floor, kicks it back out. Akuzo from the stripe. Away comes Lauren Scherf. Two teams look to be evenly matched. No Lauren Nicholson for Townsville. Perth at full strength. Taylor Burrows just nonplussed with the call. What a game she had against Melbourne on the weekend. 15 points, career high. Went 9 from 9 from the free throw line.
She was huge in all of Perth's road victories. Her roll off the bench, what she could do as a spark, has been great for Perth.
Such energy. She really is an energizer bunny around the team. We're seeing it on court. Such speed, agility. Akuso blocked by Scherf.
This would be a good matchup inside Scherf and Akuso.
Heal. Lovely block coming across. Bibby. Good D there from Perth.
It was great recognition. Chloe Bibby was able to recognize the speed of Shyla on Lauren Scherf and was able to come over and help from that low side.
Amy Atwell takes a rest. Taya Burrows will carry it down the floor. Townsville by 2, 3 to play in the opening term. There's another inside pass from Scherf. Bibby couldn't quite get a hold of it. Well done, Hawkins, good scrap. Samuelson's been electrifying. She's got 14 points already. Will she go herself? Kicks it back out. Hawkins arrives. Ledger Walker. Heal to the baseline. Ledger Walker swings it left. Hawkins over the top. Akuso, second opportunity, makes it.
And that's going to be really important for Townsville. The high-low pass will make it difficult to have help side defense, so Akuso can exploit the mismatch.
Ryan pressured by Heal. Scherf. The miscommunication between Lauren and Alex Sharp. Townsville ball.
And that's a bit better from the Fire's bigs, applying ball pressure to Lauren Scherf. If she can just stand up top and pass the ball, it's going to be a long night. There's that high-low look from the bigs of Townsville.
Tina Akuso, great to have her back for Townsville. Fractured her foot in the warm-ups in round 2.
This is what Burrows can bring. Up the floor defense, pressuring the ball. That's huge for a role player coming off the bench.
Here is Tina. Will she look inside? She'll go to Heal. Flips it back to Hawkins. Can she finish? Takes the iron. Here's Whitcomb. Against Heal, tries to blow by Akuso. Tough finish. What a shot from Sammy Whitcomb.
Wow, that was a really, really tough shot. Zatina did almost everything she could in that play.
Hawkins to Akuso. Heal. Now Samuelson, and why not? Not this time. She's now 6 for 9 from the field in the opening term for 14 points. Ryan just knew she was going to go left to try to blow by, couldn't finish. Outstanding footwork from Robbie Ryan. Lovely from Samuelson as well, and the feed to Akuso. This is a great start from Townsville.
That was great from Carly Samuelson. She could have shot that ball, probably had the green light to shoot the ball, but they had taken maybe 2 or 3 outside shots to be able to get feet in the paint and set up Zatina on the overhelp. That was great recognition.
This timeout brought to you by CTM Sport. If you're considering travelling interstate, maybe with your sports team, consider CTM Sport at ctmsport.com.au. Let's head into the huddles.
Last time we went this way, right to Hawk, right.
In trains, we get 3 people casually jogging, like we get ball declared. We have a hand up. And then 3 people running alongside. Ball, basket, sprint. Kind of got the ball, no one got basket, we come out, layup. Then again, side pick and rolls, we get no nail stunt. Well, we're doing this everywhere. Why? Next time, they get it up high, dribble handoff, backdoor cut layup. It's all our defensive breakdowns. It's not that, it's a blow by. And again, we can't adjust anything if we can't execute anything. So again, defensive intensity, get that sorted out. Where cushion contain off the ball, stop getting blown by and back cut.
3, 1, 2, 3.
Intensity early from Ryan Petrick. Meanwhile, Candy was in the Townsville timeout.
I sure was, and I will start by saying a very happy birthday to Shannon Seabom as well, and he was incredibly calm during that timeout. I expected a bit more heat of him, but it wasn't there. He just drew up one very calm, one very specific play, but the big thing about it was that he said he really wants to get them in there shooting the 3, so look out for a few more 3s coming our way.
Scherf again, a lovely feed. This time it's Whitcomb with the finish.
That was great. Took her time, poised, knew the play. Sammy on the back cut. You have to respect her as a shooter, so that might be open more often than not.
Kate Gaze into the game. Another mid-season signing for Townsville. Here's the other, Shyla Heal. Keeps it alive. Akuso, 7 on the shot clock. Can't quite get it to finish. finish.
And that's the shot Lauren Scherf's going to give Akuso all night. So it'll be interesting when she can pick and choose when to take it versus when to be a little more aggressive and get deeper towards the ring.
Whitcomb off the iron. 1 second differential between shot and game clock. Samuelson's just feeling it. She's going to go for it and draws a foul. Chance to shoot 2 and have 16 for the quarter.
Again, another really heads-up, savvy play from Samuelson. She saw Lauren Scherf closing out hard, tested to see if there was going to be help side defense. It came late from Robbie Ryan, and she was able to get up, almost get the and one.
Their first season in the WNBL, from California, went to Stanford, great basketball school. LA, Dallas, Seattle, the Mercury, 27-year-old. She's got plenty of experience.
She has, and she's really found her way. I think, you know, peaking at the right time of the season, and she's been so crucial in some of Townsville's really close wins. So to see her starting off so strong really only bodes well for the rest of the game for her.
Sensational opening term from Carly Samuelson. Fire up by 4. Final play here for the Lynx. Sammy steps back for that 3. Impossible to guard. And it's a 1-point game. And every bit as intense and entertaining as we hoped it would be, Kels.
It really was, and great execution. You can't go under on a ball screen on the elbow. It was between Sammy and the big. It was pick your poison. They went with the big, and Sammy knocked down the 3.
Fantastic opening term in Perth. It's the Fire 22, Lynx 21, Wednesday Night Hoops on ESPN.
Woody, you got Kate. Good job, Kate. All right. Let's go. Actually, no, it's all right. Hey, right, so that stack play they run where Scherf just gets Sammy, right, and she catches the ball and then they go into the pick and roll there, right? Staying green on that, just chase her, right? And the big, it's a short space anyway, so stay in your drop. You know that last play? Yeah, just stay in the drop. Chase Whitcomb over, make her dribble into here and have to make passes and shit, right? All their scores are like the backdoor stuff, right? So we take that out, we're up 10 now, okay? We've done a good job, right? If Scherf's still in, right, we're just got to keep being smart with that stuff. So if she's going to sit back in the keyway against you guys, right, then we're just going into, like Draymond Green, right, straight into the handoffs, play off it. If they blow it up, right, then keep the ball and keep cutting. And then if we don't get it, just go to the next action straight away, okay? Let's go. So Shy, go past her, Woody, right? You're going to go through, so we'll go Tex, right? Go Tex. So Ruth, you're there, Hawk's there. So we'll reverse it to Carl, right? Shy, you're going to come down, so dribble handoff, sorry, to Woody. Go off Ruth, right? Once it gets here, go and set a screen for Hawk to come into the post, and then it's either in there or here into the pick and roll, right? Cool with that?
Quarter time in Perth. It was the Carly Samuelson entertainment show in the opening term. She had 16 points, 6 for 9 from the field, and helped the Fire to a 1-point lead at quarter time. Thoroughly entertaining game. Great to have you with us. It's 22-21 as we start the second term in Perth. And it will be a Lynx ball to begin proceedings. Whitcomb, Bibby. Lynch Hoycard had a real influence. Gandini to Sharp. And some of those role players for Perth, like Lynch Hoycard in recent games, Robbie Ryan, another example, they're really starting to get great contributions up and down their roster.
They really are, and for me, Alex Sharp is another one, and that corner 3 is her shot. You know she's going to shoot it when she gets it.
And one for Hawkins, tough bucket, earned it the hard way.
And that's really important for the Fire. I think getting Hawkins going is really important. She is an import. She's a veteran. She's savvy. And she knows when to pick and choose, when to be aggressive. And I think it's really good to see her so they can start balancing out the scoring. Absolutely keep Samuelson going, but Hawkins can definitely be an impactful player in this game.
Doesn't make the extra. Scores tied up at 24 apiece. Whitcomb. Samuelson comes away with it. Out of Roof. Tries to feed it through to Hawkins. Beautifully played.
And those are really great transition looks. Biggs running the lane line, sealing at the rim. It's almost impossible to help. Great finish, great recognition by Roof.
Maybe confronted by Hawkins. Handed off. Clinch Hoycard. Wrapped around is Whitcomb. Off the bottom of the rim. And then Gandini fouls Heal.
There was definitely a lot of congestion, but that's, you know, a shot that Sammy Whitcomb is definitely capable of making. Gandini maybe a little unlucky there trying to contest the rebound.
So from a Shannon Seabaum and indeed a Shyla Heal perspective, they have been together before in the hub season of 2020. They played the entire season together, so they are on the same page in terms of understanding how each other operate. But from a general perspective, bringing in a player on a game day or the game before, how does that affect your playbook?
Look, it's definitely difficult, but it does happen. It happens quite a lot, probably more internationally than maybe in the WNBL. But now we're seeing Townsville's first look at Shyla at the 1. So Walker Ledger had predominantly played the 1 and Shyla was playing the 2. And this will be Fire's first look with Shyla at the 1, which is a lot more difficult coming in the day before a game.
Foul. Moving screen. So plenty of basketball purists tonight tuning in to watch exactly what you're describing. How do you integrate at the 1?
The 1, that is, I think, the most difficult place to probably integrate. That's your floor general. That's your person who's going to set up the offense, run everything.
Well done, Tiana Hawkins. Scrapped hard, forced the turnover, won the ball back there for Townsville.
And she did that in the Sydney game. That's what got them back. Her third quarter efforts in the Sydney game. So not only is she impactful on offense, but also on defense.
Samuelson, a provider this time for Ruth, who finishes.
And Nick's just a workhorse. That's what she does. Rebounds, finishes, facilitator. It's a huge role for Fire.
Whitcomb, Bibby, out to Gandini. Clinch Hoycard sets her feet. Here comes Hawkins. Woods. Samuelson. Tries to feed it through to Roof, who then works on Clinch Hoycard, who sticks to the task, but fouls in the process.
And that was a different look from the Fire that time. That was almost like a no point guard break. So it wasn't necessarily Shyla bringing the ball down. Mick carried it for a little while before passing it up to Woods and then getting into play. So it'll be interesting to see. And I do wonder if it's what you were talking about, this late addition of the point guard, how much they can actually run Shyla at the point.
So Michaela Roof goes to the line. 68% free throw shooter in her 108 games. Going at 77 this season.
I think Mick's been an important glue piece for the Fire that was acquired in the offseason. As that facilitator, that rebounder, person prepared to do a lot of the dirty work, which is a really, really important role on every single team.
5, up by 6. Gandini, Scherf. Looking for an inside option once again. She'll go to Whitcomb. Harassed by Ledger Walker. Flips a pass to the corner for Gandini, who knew the shot wasn't good. Went to follow it in. Foul call.
I think that's the shot the Fire, excuse me, that's the shot that the Lynx want. They want that ball reversal into a three-point shot. And I think what the Fire are doing really well is they're not allowing the offensive rebounds that we saw Bendigo and Melbourne give up. That was a really important part of the run that the Lynx were able to have on the road. So credit to the Fire for being able to really own the defensive glass.
Ruth cruises down the floor, flips it back to Akuzo, who can't handle it. Now Whitcomb, confronted by Woods. Off to Sharp. Works on Samuelson, confronted by Akuzo, so pops it over the top. Scherf will kick it out. Bibby from the top of the arc. And Zatina cleans it up. Ledger Walker. Now Samuelson, 16 in the first quarter for Carly. Make it 18. What a first half from Carly Samuelson.
That is, and I think for her, she's feeling it. She knows she's going to get that elbow jumper when Scherf's in a deep drop, so will Petrick adjust the ball screen defense on her?
Lauren Scherf's long-range shot won't go. Woods off to Samuelson again, and why wouldn't you just keep feeding Carly here? Was open, could have taken the shot. Akuzo back to Samuelson. Woods, Ledger Walker from the corner. Almost, but Roof's there to tidy up the glass. And they're up by 10 all of a sudden.
And I think what's happened is Fire's been able to turn this into a half-court game. The Lynx aren't getting as much in transition as we've seen them get in previous games on the road. So credit to the Fire and their defense. And then also giving up what we often saw with Perth, offensive rebounds.
So it was 1 point the difference at quarter time. Fire have put on 12 points to 3 in this second term, and they lead by 10 points. This timeout brought to you by Cygnett, powering your life with Cygnett's accessories. Proud naming rights sponsor of the WNBL.
Switch 1 through 4, blue the 5. Just trying to wake you guys up. You are not awake down that end of the floor. Offensively, right now, I want to be in flat series. So flat 4, flat 5. But that end is the problem, not offense. Let's go.
1, 2, 3.
Needing to try.
And it's clear from Petrick, he's focused about defense. He's saying our offense is fine. We need to wake up on defense, own the glass. He talked about switching 1 through 4, so it'll be interesting. Shannon and the Fire are coming off playing Sydney, who switched a lot of ball screens as well, so he'll definitely know the wrinkles to adjust to that. But I think he's keeping Scherf in her deep drop, so it'll be interesting to see if his team rises to the occasion.
Townsville shooting at 50% from the floor, 14 for 28. They lead by 10 points as we approach the midway point of this second quarter. Wednesday Night Hoops on ESPN. Here's Taya Burrows. Scherf steps back for 3.
She almost made that one more difficult than she originally had it on the catch.
Samuelson. Will she go over Scherf? She'll boot it out to Ledger Walker. Kuzo looks to take position against Sharp. Roof, Woods, Samuelson. Roof underneath it. And Townsville will retain possession.
That's great effort, just single effort from Nick Roof getting her hands to the ball to get an extra possession.
6.6 rebounds for Michaela Roof.
Petrick certainly wouldn't be happy out of the timeout that his team's already giving up another offensive rebound.
Townsville have had 5 offensive rebounds so far in the game. Samuelson to Ledger Walker. Woods waits in the corner. Samuelson, Kuzo. Has to take it herself as the shot clock expires. Important stop there for Perth.
Really important stop. They're able to defend the Spanish ball screen really well. The tag was short so they could recover to the shooter. And Coach Petrick will want more of that from the Lynx.
Explain to us the Spanish ball screen.
Spanish ball screen essentially is a middle on ball that has a guard come up and set a back screen on the Bigs defender. So you're in 2 minds defensively, whether you defend the roller and if you do, then there's a wide open 3.
Burrows works with Scherf and then wraps around. And can't finish. Just not quite happening for Perth at the moment, but they will retain possession here.
They will. And Perth's coming off, a pretty epic Melbourne swing or, West Coast.
East Coast swing.
Yeah, West Coast swing. So, there might be a little bit of that, but they know there's a lot on the line. So I certainly expect them to start playing with a little more intensity.
Whitcomb, can she get them going? Not quite. Almost put back by Sharp, and Scherf does just that.
And that's more what we're accustomed to seeing Perth do off of misses, is just swarm the O glass and get second chance opportunities.
Hawkins receives from Ledger Walker. Samuelson then over the top to Tiana, through to Roof, hits the bottom of the rim, and Scherf can take it away. She runs the floor, kicks it wide, Sharp. Just sets this Perth crowd ready to erupt. If they can nail one of those threes. Roof. Townsville done a super job taking the crowd out of the game early. Led almost exclusively in this game. Perth led by 2 at one point. Ledger Walker to Hawkins. And it's Townsville making the running in this first half. They're back out to an 11-point lead.
That was great execution. Ledger Walker was able to get feet in the paint, collapse the defense, and give Hawkins a wide-open feet set three, which she's very capable of making.
Ruth makes another defensive play. She strips Taya Burrows. Now a bit of tempo from Townsville.
And this is the pace. This is the pace that Townsville wants to play at. Perth wants an up-tempo, fast-paced transition game. This is what Townsville wants to do, is execute Perth to make them have to play defense for 24 seconds.
Woods will put it up as the shot clock expires, and it drops for Townsville. They're up by 14 points with 3.5 to play in the opening half.
And this, too, then kills Perth's transition offense, where they're the most deadly.
Scintillating performance so far from Townsville, and they get another turnover here through Woods.
Expect to see another half-court set executed here.
Ledger Walker playing the one right now. Ruth. Samuelson. Ruth will go herself. They sit off. It won't go. Hawkins scraps for it under the hoop. Another O board. 2 more for Townsville.
And what's so key with that was with the dribble handoff, Scherf was pulled out, so then Hawkins could crash the O glass against guards.
Hawkins wins the defensive rebound. Comes away herself. Takes on Scherf, lays in another couple. And this is getting out of control here for the Lynx. They're down by 18.
Certainly not what you expect from Perth on their home court, but there's still a lot of basketball game left here, so we'll see how they respond.
Burrows. Back to Lauren. That won't go either. Hawkins can't control it, but Ruth will keep it alive. First things first for the Lynx. They've got to stem the bleeding here.
Again, the Lynx won't be used to too many teams walking the ball up the floor and playing against them, but clearly this has been an emphasis from Coach Seabaum, and it's working.
And so is their shooting right now. They continue to pour it in. They've got 47 points and lead by 21. This is just astonishing. What a second term from Townsville. Whitcomb, Sharp. She's fouled in the process and will go to the line to shoot 2. This quarter, 25 points to 5 in favour of Townsville. Remembering it was a 1-point game at the first change.
So impressive, and I can't state it enough how Townsville is playing this game on their terms. So they're doing to Perth what Perth has essentially done on their West Coast swings. They got the games on their terms. They were playing fast. They were playing in transition. There was heaps of ball movement. Townsville's walking the ball up the floor. They're trying to get Perth to play a half-court game, and it's clearly been to Townsville's advantage.
They've done it without Lauren Nicholson, without Steph Reed, who hasn't stepped on court. Shyla Heal playing her first game.
That is so impressive. Talking about your floor general and Steph Reed, and, you know, someone who's shooting the ball at 50% essentially from three-point range, who is your go-to player. That just shows the ability to buy into the system of what Coach Shannon Seabaum's doing and how much depth that Townsville does have.
It has been a phenomenal performance so far. Can they keep it going? McSpadden into the game. Woods. Akuzo works on Clinch Hoykard rather and lays in another 2. They're headed for 50 before half-time. Ryan.
That was great patience from Zatina. She got to her spot, was able to finish middle, which is what she loves to do.
Badly needed 3 is delivered by Gandini.
Hugely needed 3.
Margin back to 19. McSpadden knocked away. Here's a chance for Robbie Ryan. Can Perth get something going here? Ryan adds another 2.
And that'll definitely be a momentum swing that Perth is happy about. Needed, but again, it was in transition. It was their defense creating transition opportunities, which is the style of play that Perth wants.
Upside for Perth, obviously so much time left in the game. They can score quickly. Robbie Ryan adds 2 more. 5 points in a hurry for Perth. Margin back to 17 as we take you inside the Townsville huddle.
Right, we'll go shakes for Shy. Right, so put Carl, I want you to start up here, right? Woody, Lara, Z, right? So you're coming to screen now. Just see if they ice it, you can flip and we can come that way anyway, right? But be aggressive out of it. As this is happening, Lara, come and flare Carly to the corner, right? So we occupy these guys, and now you and Z play a 2-man game. Woody, lift. If they tag, you can throw it out. We play. Now, right, defensively, right, just stay locked in. So again, even Gandini's in that through quick, back to them. Now you can go through, right, but just stay attached before we do. So now they're not thinking shot when they come off, right? Here we go. Yep. 5, good, here we go.
Critical 1 minute to come here. Perth trying to wrest some momentum back, trying to eat into this lead a little and at least head to half-time with some sort of sense that they're getting back into the game.
And I really like that timeout from Coach Seabaum, stem the momentum, and also set up a play that he knows his players know. Get Shyla running a set that she's comfortable with, but also they're going to look to get a big high-low action.
They double-team Shyla Heal. They put the full-court pressure on, and it works for Perth.
And great adjustment from Petrick coming out of that timeout. Fire clearly weren't expecting that full-court pressure. They left Shyla on her own, and she turned the ball over.
Brilliant coaching and execution there from Perth. They win the ball back, and with that, the opportunity to maintain that momentum that they're starting to build.
Yeah, Perth couldn't have asked for a better response coming out of that timeout. I think Shannon drew up a great play that was going to get several looks for several key players. So this is exactly what Perth needs going into halftime.
And they get some points off the back of this turnover. Ryan. Clean Choi card. Bibby. Wanted Mac to cut to the hoop. Now Atwell wraps around. Little floater is short, but she'll get her own ball back. Can't finish a second time. They'll get a third look. Gandini for another 3. Here come the Lynx. It's back to 14 points.
That's what the Perth Lynx can do. When they get second chance opportunities, when they crash the O-glass, when they get defensive stops, they're a deadly offensive team.
Townsville's lead got out to 22. It's been hauled back to 14. Much more manageable heading to half-time. And Shyla comes up with a big 3 to respond.
And that was an important basket for the Fire. After a huge surge from the Lynx.
Ryan. Clean Choi card. Things starting to happen now for Perth.
And they are rolling.
And in the blink of an eye, it's gone from 22 to 13 points. And when it was at 22, we mentioned how they can pour on points in a hurry. Nice response, and right on the half-time basket, on the buzzer rather, Woods lays it in. And that is an entertaining first half of basketball from two teams who are as hot as anyone in the competition right now.
They really are, and you wouldn't expect any less. These are two teams who are on a winning streak. They know what it takes to win both on the road and at home. So it'll be so impressive to see how they turn out in the second half.
Remarkable first quarter from Carly Samuelson. She had 16 points. She's got 21 to the half, and here she is with Candy.
Carly, oh my goodness. Perth love to control the tempo, but that's not what's happening at this game. It's on your terms. How do you describe your terms in this game today?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're playing fast tempo too. The game is fast, especially at the start. It was up and down. We just got to, Perth is hot, you know, when they get hot, so we got to keep the three-pointers down.
Absolutely. And for you, did you have your wheat bix this morning? 21 for you in that first half, an exceptional start. Tell me about what you're feeling.
I mean, we have a good five out there. The spacing's really good, really wide, and, you know, Steph and Laws are out, and they do a lot for us on offense and defense. So, you know, my team is just fine to me. It's good.
Congratulations. That's been a great first half, and good luck in the next one.
Thank you.
Great first half of basketball from Carly Samuelson and the Townsville Fire. They lead by 15 points at the half as we take a look at our top 5 moments from round 12.
She'll start the offensive for the Flames. Coming out of nowhere was Woods with the denial.
Great effort. She could have easily given up, but she didn't.
Thornton. Oh, beautiful dish into blitz arms. Shot clock ticks down to 5 now. Mansfield pulls up for a long 3. That is massive from Mansfield.
There it is.
Thornton pops it in for the Flyers. Between game clock and shot clock. Talbot for the win. Can't convert. Whittle taps it back in. Bishop holds onto it. It's a monumental victory for the Southside Flyers. She'll get it back from Whittle. A behind the back pass to Talbot.
Oh, I think that'll be in the highlight reel. How good was that?
Can't get it to go. Samuelson pulls the trigger. Still out on the floor. Samuelson. Boom! And they pulled off a close win tonight.
Whitcomb, lovely look away bounce pass to Clinch Hoycard.
She is just exceptional, Sammy Whitcomb.
Need to shot up, and it's Atwell, the right person for the job. So Perth's winning ways continue. They have won 7 in a row.
So if you look at the top on this screen,
Oh, yep.
see,
Oh,
it's
okay,
got
yep.
7 there, and then you scroll your eyes down, 7, 7 and 7. Because it doesn't all fit on the one screen.
Yeah, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like Townsville's rebounding so much better than...
Yeah, points in the paint, 16 to 28. That says something, right? They're
Yeah, it
plus
does.
12 for points in the paint. Half-time in Perth, Wednesday night hoops on ESPN. Townsville flying out of the blocks. They led by a point at quarter time after they led early. Perth managed to reel them back in, get back within a point at the first change. They then exploded in the second term, 31 points to 17 in the second quarter. At one point, they led by 22. Perth then rallied late, reduced the margin at the half to 15 points. It's 53-38 in favour of Townsville. Kelsey Griffin. We had no idea what to expect. We still don't. This game could still end up being an absolute thriller. There's no doubt Perth are still well and truly in the contest. We saw how quickly they can score. How did Townsville get on top so quickly?
Well, for me, I think it was the execution in the half court. I think Perth tries to get the game sped up and speed teams up and rush them into taking contested twos. Townsville didn't do that. They did what they wanted to on the offensive end, and you could hear in Petrick's timeout that he wasn't happy with the defense that his team was playing. So I think credit to Townsville for playing the game the way they wanted to play.
And then when Perth started to get things rolling in the last couple of minutes of that second term, it was a timely reminder of just how quickly they can pour points on themselves. What changed?
Well, I think it was their defense. They turned up their defense. They got a couple steals. Then they started to feel their rhythm. They were playing in transition, and they knocked down a couple threes. And so I think it was their sequence of back-to-back baskets. But for me, it started on the defensive end.
Exactly the same number of shots, 39 apiece. But look at Townsville shooting at 56% from the field and 56% from three-point range. If you're Ryan Petrick, you're looking at those stats and going, there's no way they can keep that up for an entire game.
Well, they can't if you give them the shots that they're prepared to give up. And so I think what Townsville did, well, yes, Samuelson started hot, but she can do that. That's not surprising. She's done that in this league already. So I think for him, we're prepared to give up a certain type of shot, but we haven't done that as well as we wanted to in that first half.
Townsville +6 in rebounds and +12 for points in the paint, 28-16. That's become a factor as well.
Absolutely. Points in the paint, that's what you want to get to. Also the foul line. Who's going to get to the foul line more? There hasn't been a ton of foul shots in this game, so will that become a factor? It has in previous rounds, but not so far this game.
So what do you think the messages are from the two coaches at halftime? Let's start with Shannon Seabohm. Their team did just about everything right in the first quarter and 3 quarters of the second one.
I would say he's probably going to tell them, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Keep sticking to our game plan. Keep trusting it. Ball movement, I think it's run for opportunity. Can we get deep steals in transition, exploit their trans deep, but can we execute in the half court? And we'll knock down those shots because we're great shooters.
And then from Ryan Petrick's perspective, something for his team to hang on to. Those last couple of minutes were good.
I think he would tell them, when we play defense, we're really good. If we don't play defense, if we don't stick to our defensive schemes, we're not going to be able to claw it back in. But also reminding his team, you can't win it in the first 5 minutes. You know, it's going to be a grind. You have to chip away and then put ourselves in the position where we can win it in the fourth quarter.
So much on the line for these two teams. Perth win tonight. They join Townsville in the top 4. If they lose tonight, they go 2 games behind Townsville. They play again on Saturday. So much still to play out in this one. It's Townsville by 15 points at the half. Fire 53, Lynx 38. Set for second half action at the Bendat Basketball Centre in Perth. It is Townsville 53, Perth 38. As we get underway in this round 13 blockbuster second half action. ESPN's Game of the Week, brought to you by Cygnett, Australia's leading tech brand. Jason Bennett alongside Kelsey Griffin. Candy Hertz is courtside. Here's Michaela Roof. Hawkins. What adjustments can Perth make? The Townsville get back on top. That's a great start from Tiana Hawkins. Lovely finish.
That was great recognition. She had the smaller defender on her, didn't settle for the outside shot, took 2 back down dribbles and was able to finish on the other side of the ring.
Sherf receives from Atwell, hands it off to Whitcomb. Steps back to Atwell. Well done, Roof, knocks it away from Sherf, but in the end it'll be a Perth ball as we head to Candy. Candy, you spoke with both coaches at the half.
I sure did. I caught up first with Shannon Seabaum, and he just said he's really happy with everything they've executed. He's expecting some adjustments, so he said just keep playing the same way, be aggressive out of the ball screens, and they should be right. On the other side, I did also catch up with Ryan, and he simply said, we suck, try harder. Right now he rates his team 1 out of 10.
Inspirational words from Ryan Petrick. Here's Ryan. Can she get something going? She can. We've spoken about just how dangerous she's been in recent weeks, and she might be the one to get them rolling.
She definitely can be, and I think as much as Perth is a great offensive team, what Ryan's wanting is better defense from his side, and that certainly isn't it. But that is the shot that they're prepared to give up, that long-range jumper, and Samuelson just knocks it down.
He's up to 23 points now. Here's Ryan for another 3. Hawkins to Woods, and now Ledger Walker, who spent most of the night in the 1 slot running the point for Townsville. Heal did it momentarily, but it was mainly Ledger Walker. And Shyla, when she was on the court, was playing in the 2 slot. Little feed through from Ledger Walker was intended for Woods. Picked off, and another opportunity here for Perth to cut into this deficit. They trail by 16. Here's Robbie Ryan, puts it on the floor, finds her way to the rack, and she does that as well as anyone in the competition.
And she's been aggressive. I think this is what Lynx need to really spark that transition, get downhill, not just settle for the 3. Yes, they can shoot it, but they can also make life a little easier for themselves by getting feet in the paint.
Ryan Sherf just sagging off Roof, daring her to shoot that long-range shot. She chose not to. Well done, Lauren Sherf.
It's probably overcomplicating it a bit by the fire.
Whitcomb pops to the corner for Sharp, and that's the danger with Perth. If they start to find their range from outside the arc, they can pile on points in a hurry, and before you know it, that 22-point lead that Townsville had late in the second term has been halved. It's an 11-point game. Woods. Whitcomb frustrated by the call. So from a tactical and even a psychological perspective, Kels, you know if Perth start to get hot and they start to pile the points on, that's going to put pressure on Townsville. Then it's a challenge to stay in their game, isn't it? Not look to do something different.
That's it, and it's just kind of steady the course. And I think Ledger Walker is doing a great job. She looked at Coach Seabaum on the sidelines, and he was telling her to slow down the pace, what play to run, giving her some guidance. And I think it's also important for Townsville to recognize Sharp in the corner is a great 3-point shooter, so you have to get out and challenge that.
Margin sits at 14. You know Perth are going to keep coming. It's going to be a question of whether Townsville can keep them at arm's length. Whitcomb, tough finish. Sherf follows it in, but Roof in best position. She's been enormous so far, Michaela Roof. Had a huge part to play in their success. Again, they just sit off her. Offer her the shot, she takes it, doesn't make it.
And that's something where I think, yes, she's been given the shot, but can they get that shot at the same time in the shot clock? Ooh, and a big defensive play there from Courtney Woods, picking up the charge.
Defensive foul on Whitcomb. Here's another look. Was Courtney on the move?
Look, for me, charge blocking call is probably the hardest call, but it looked like not only was she on the move, she might have also been in the charge circle. But we also have the benefit of replay. Live, it's much harder.
Here's Woods to Hawkins. Ledger Walker. Samuelson. She's fouled, and that one hurt the wrist. She has been white hot tonight, Carly Samuelson. 23 points on 9 of 13 shooting. Here's another look. Just gets that left wrist jammed as Atwell comes in to close down the space. I hope it's nothing too serious, but...
Same. I hope it's nothing too serious. I think whilst there's been a couple fouls from Perth, they've clearly turned up the physicality on defense, and I think that's probably one of the things they talked about in halftime was playing more physical, being more deliberate on defense.
Roof receives from Ledger Walker, who's been the facilitator tonight. Lays in another 2. And so far, Townsville doing a good job. Back out to 16 points. Still managing to maintain their own rhythm. Not being taken out of it by Perth surging at them. Whitcomb can't finish. Because, of course, the flip side then starts to happen, doesn't it, Kels? If Townsville can keep them at bay, Perth get increasingly frustrated and they feel like they need to do something miraculous to get back in the game.
What's also been interesting for Perth is they've had big leads against Melbourne and Bendigo, but when the fourth quarter game became a half-court game, which often happens in fourth quarters, that's when it's been difficult for Perth. So I really think Perth is going to want to ramp up the speed of this game to play it on their tempo. But if Townsville can keep it in the half court, there's a really good chance that they'll be in the position they want to be at the end of this game.
Robbie Ryan, who looms as a key piece. The Lynx are to come back from here. They trail by 16. Approach the midway point of this third term. Bibby, can she get involved? Wants to work on Hawkins, steps back. Won't quite drop. Scherf versus Roof. Townsville ball.
That's another key stop from Mick Roof, being able to win the possession there. Perth normally is able to clean up a few of these misses and get the O-glass. That's been key for them. And Townsville's just done a really great job at limiting their offensive glass.
Rebound count now 27-19 in favour of Townsville. Here's Samuelson. How's that wrist? Hawkins flips it. Ledger Walker pulls the trigger from long range. Away comes Whitcomb. Bibby gets to position. Strong finish from Chloe Bibby. Her first points of the night. Can she get busy?
I was going to say, she's had a quieter game by her standards, but that's a part of her game. She's known for her three-point shooting, but that might be something they look to exploit a little bit more.
Woods to the corner. Kick back out. Roof. Can she work on Ryan? Well done, Robbie Ryan. And the foul was called, much to the dismay of the Perth fans. Yeah, Steph Reid hasn't played a minute tonight. You'd expect she's not going to with that back issue, Kels. If she's going to play, it's going to be early in the game when she's had a chance to properly warm up.
Yeah, definitely. I think if Steph Reid isn't in the starting lineup, it's fair to say that you're going to want to keep her on the bench, because if your back's warm, that's your best chance at playing. As soon as you cool down, it's going to be really hard.
Played the first half on the weekend and then spent the second half on the sidelines at a back brace. So she and Lauren Nicholson both under serious injury clouds, hence their recruitment of Shyla Heal.
Tiana Hawkins called for the hook on the rebound there. So a couple of calls not necessarily going the way that the Fire would have liked, but see how they can respond.
Margin sits at 14 points. Interesting phase of the game. This next 4 or so minutes. Can Perth bring it back down to single digits and get themselves in a position to make a run in the last term? Or Townsville consolidate? Burrows, so quick, so dynamic. Well done, Heal. Stayed with her shoulder to shoulder and pressured the shot.
That's what Taylor Burrows likes to do, get downhill on her left hand. That was a good contest.
Kuzo, Heal, Roof. Woods from long range. Every shot seems so important right now in the context of the game. Perth trying to close back in, get themselves into the contest. Townsville looking to keep them at bay. Atwell, nice finish off the glass from Scherf. And it's a 12-point game.
That was a really good two-man game from Atwell and Scherf. You don't see that too often with Atwell getting downhill and Scherf rolling to the basket. She likes to pop a lot, but that was a really good look from Perth.
Samuelson to Woods. Can she step through the traffic? Kicks it to Heal in the corner. Slight fumble, so she dishes it off to Samuelson. A rare miss from Carly tonight. And 9 for 14 from the field. Energy starting to head Perth's way once again.
Yeah, and I think there might have been a timeout called, strategic timeout by Shannon Seabaum. Just wants to talk about it. You can see Perth Lynx defense has been turned up, which is what's being able to fuel this comeback.
This timeout brought to you by DIY Blinds, Australian-made designer quality window furnishings. Head to diyblinds.com.au. Interesting timeout coming up. Here's Shannon Seabaum.
Yeah, right. Down there, we've just ground to a standstill, right? And if, like, again, if they start sagging and shit, like, keep coming off things and putting them in positions where it's 2-on-1, right? Like, that's right, strong reverse, right? So just play through that. Again, if we go reverse and Shy's here, we can also get into high pick and roll, right? They're deep drops, so you're getting into that zone where you can score out of and we can play.
Keep our spacing then, it's very close.
Yeah, right? But again, just more possessions where we're putting him in that two-man action where we can score, then swing it the other side and play again, right? Hey, we know they can't guard a pick and roll, so we've got to keep playing out of that stuff. Here we go. Fire.
Let's get stuck here.
Well, I think Shannon Seabaum and I had similar keys to the game. He was talking about their ability to defend the pick and roll, and I think he wants his team to still be aggressive. And oftentimes, playing against Perth, because they're so saggy and passive in their defense, you can get a bit stagnant. And basically, he's calling for ball movement. So we'll see if they're able to do that.
Maybe to Whitcomb, to Scherf. Margin sits at 12. Critical period of this game. Bibby has now got 4 points. Starting to get involved. And it's a 10-point game.
That was really good poise. She just used her shot fake, created, knew she was going to have space at the elbow jumper and knocked it down.
Samuelson, double team, flips it to the corner. Took a while to get to Woods. Another opportunity for the Lynx here. On a roll right now. Burrows, Scherf. This would get them up and about. It's heavy. And Woods can come away with it. And again, in no hurry. Not looking to take it to the rack. Happy for the support to arrive, get into a half court and run a set. Samuelson, the screen from Akuzo, then feeds it through, but Tatina can't hang on. Candy, you were in the Perth timeout at the last huddle. What did Ryan have to say?
A little more inspiring, like you would say, Jace, this one. He said he just wanted to run a play that involved Atwell and Sammy. You'll notice it'll be up on the corner, look out for it. He also just said to get Woods involved in every action. So they've got their eye on Courtney. Let's see how that one plays out.
Candy Roof, straight up the middle, won't roll and drop. Townsville will retain possession. 2.5 to play in the third term. 10-point game. Tension starting to build at the Bendat Basketball Centre. Townsville led by 22 points late in the second term, but no stage did it feel like Perth were out of the game. Heal. Could have pulled the trigger on the three. She went to Samuelson. Shot clock down to single digits. Shyla versus Burrows, now confronted by Bibby. Back to Woods. Roof's open. Will she take the shot? She will. Won't go. They'll get another opportunity through Heal. Samuelson. Akuzo. Shyla's wide open. This would be big. Won't go. They'll get another chance. Mick Roof is having a game and a half.
That's just sheer determination. That's wanting it more from Townsville. Crashing the O-glass. They're doing to Perth what Perth has done to a lot of teams. And they can hang their hat on their hard work. They're not necessarily making those shots, but they're giving themselves enough opportunity. Another great, great effort by Mick, but that time it was a collective. It was all across the board. I feel like every Townsville Fire had their hands on an offensive tip out or the offensive board.
9 points, 8 boards for Michaela Roof. And she has been in everything for Townsville tonight. Done so much of the gritty stuff, blue collar work.
That's it, and it might not fill up a stat sheet, but it's certainly a difference maker in this game.
Marching back out to 12. It was 15 at the half. So despite Perth's effort to try and work their way back, so far they only lead the turn by 3. Here's Burrows. Scherf runs into some traffic. Gets bailed out.
And that's interesting from Perth Lynx. If Candy was saying that they wanted to attack Woods, if Petrick called for them to attack Woods in actions, that wasn't necessarily what was executed on this side of the court, with Scherf doing a back down dribble from the free throw line. So it'd be interesting to see if that is a point of emphasis that actually translates onto the court.
So a brief lull while they dry the court with 1:49 left in the third. This term, it's been 11 points to the Fire after they scored 31 in the second term. So Perth have managed to shut them down offensively. Lynx adding 14 themselves. So 14-11 in favour of Perth this term. Burrows. Ryan. Again, she manages to weave her way through traffic.
Just impressive footwork from Ryan. They're able to slow down, play to pace to react to the defense.
Margin back to 10. 90 seconds to play. Ledger Walker. Samuelson. Akuzo feeds it through. Can Ruth hang on? She keeps it alive, but Ryan steals it. She's got Bibby to the outside. Will she go herself? Burrows. Nice step. Got inside Ledger Walker. Finish and one.
And that's exactly the response that Ryan would have wanted from his team. A defensive stop, which leads into transition, which gets downhill. There were shooters open, attacked, got an and one. An old-fashioned three.
Suddenly it's an 8-point game. The Lynx right back in this.
And as a team coming out of halftime at the deficit, you just want to get it back to single digits. That's the goal by fourth quarter time.
Townsville could use some points here. Just steady things down late in the term. They still sit on an 8-point lead. A minute to play in the third. Ledger Walker. Heal. Those shots not dropping all of a sudden for Townsville. We said at halftime they were shooting at 56%. Tough to keep that clip going for 4 quarters.
It is, and what Perth's done is that was a one-and-done possession, so there was no offensive glass, there was no second chance opportunity.
And Bibby, she can't get it to go either. 40 seconds left in the corner, and Sharp is fouled.
And that's what Alex Sharp does. That's such a huge piece of the puzzle for Perth, and it might not really go noticed by a lot of people, but her teammates certainly would expect it. When you know you have someone crashing the glass hard, it makes those 3 points feel a little bit like a better shot when you know someone's going to clean them up just on the off chance that you miss.
Townsville was shooting 56% from 3-point range at the half. It's now down to 33%. They just haven't dropped for them this term. And Perth working their way back here, setting up a thrilling final term. High-stakes basketball, round 13 action. It's a 6-point game. Heal again pressured. Good full court work here, and it's through the hands of Akuzo. Look at the energy in the Perth camp right now.
And that's just great from Perth, realizing time and score, opportunity, new point guard on the floor, taking advantage, full court pressure. Everyone bought into the press, playing aggressively. That's the only way that works. All 5 players dedicated to it.
Townsville need to steady. Perth coming hard at them. Scherf, Sharp, Bibby, Burrows. Shot clock down to 6. Will Taya go herself? She goes to Chloe, who's already got 4 for the term. Adds 2 more. Last shot opportunity here for Townsville, and don't they need it? Margins drop from 15 to 4 in a hurry. Ledger Walker, Samuelson, spin move past Sharp, runs into Burrows. Heal's got to get the shot up and beat the buzzer, can't do so. What a quarter from Perth. Perfect way to respond. 2 great teams going at it, blow for blow. Townsville laid the punches in the second term. Perth respond in the third. And as we head for home, it's a 4-point ball game. Wednesday night hoops on ESPN.
We'd be up 4 at 3/4 time, we'd take that, right? But fucking wake the fuck up. Seriously, we have gone away from everything that worked in the first half, right? When we run Spain pick and roll, right, whoever that is, right, let her get there first and then come off it. Like, we're just fucking rushing everything. Now, hey, we are fine. We need to get back to what worked in the first half, which was great defense. Now we're like flying out at everyone and letting them dribble around us, then helping next one fly out, dribble around, right? Be better. Be better, right? On offense, let's re-establish our inside out. Right now, they might give us some shots we think are good ones, but work it till we get a great one, right? Now, if it's your shot, take it. Right? But otherwise, work it till we get a great one. Right? Let's go Tex for Hawk here. Right? Tex for Hawk. Right? Hey, we're fine. Let's just get back to being elite. Right? Let's go. Fire. Okay, mate. You're good. Let's go.
Three-quarter time in Perth. It was the Fire by 1 point at quarter time. The Lynx by 15 at the half after scoring 31 points to 17. So 15 points up at half-time. Now just 4 points up as we start the final term. The Lynx 22-11 in that third term. Perth storming back into this game. Chloe Bibby hits the floor, hits it hard.
And she's really made an adjustment. She's not settling, not that I should say settling for her three, because she's a very capable three-point shooter, but she's looking to be really aggressive off the dribble. Hawkins might just be a little unlucky there, but the foul was called. And Townsville will have to adjust to that, adjust to how she's playing at the moment.
We had the opportunity to listen in to Shannon Seabaum in the Fire huddle at three-quarter time. He said, look, at the start of the night, we take a 4-point lead at three-quarter time happily, but we've gone away from everything that was working in the first half. We need to wake up, work it till we get a great shot. Let's get back to being elite. Robbie Ryan, speaking of elite, it's a 1-point game.
You have to completely change the scout on how you defend Robbie Ryan from how she was at the start of the season. She is shooting three ball incredibly well.
5 for 7 coming in tonight. Robbie Ryan. And now she's gone 3 for 5. 3 for 4 rather. Outstanding. Another stop here for Perth, who get an opportunity after trailing by 22 points. There's Ryan at her best. And Perth are in front. They were 22 points down midway through the second term. They now lead by 1 with 9 to play. We're about to find out a lot about the Townsville Fire right here. Ruth, Samuelson, can they get the game back on their terms? Ledger Walker, looking for an option. Jacks up a shot herself, it works.
That was pretty good defense from Lynx, just better offense from Ledger Walker.
Ryan on the spin, putting on a show, Robbie Ryan. She has got some tricks. Fastest feet in the West, Robbie Ryan. And Perth are up by 1. Samuelson, Woods, they need this, and Courtney delivers. The game goes up a notch as Townsville respond. Burrows. Robbie up to 21 points. Samuelson's got 23, 16 of those in the first quarter. Burrows gets to the rack herself.
And that's what Burrows likes to do, left-hand drive, but Lauren Scherf created the seal on that for the space, so there was no help side defense to come across.
Roof to Samuelson, back to Michaela. Inside 8 minutes, Ledger Walker being busy. Had lots to do tonight. Roof, lovely find through to Akuzo, who finishes.
That was better ball movement from the Fire, being able to get multiple players touching it and being able to get feet in the paint and have cutters coming off of the saggy defense.
Ryan is so confident right now. She's prepared to take on anyone. Can't finish on this occasion. Woods. Samuelson was hot early, warming up again. And just like that, Townsville respond and lead by 5. Nice counter punch from the visitors. Scherf over the top. Just a bit big for Bibby. Great response here from Townsville.
Great response from the Fire. And I think the difference was that offensive transition was opportunity because they had numbers. Ryan was still down from the play and the contest that happened before, and so they're able to get Samuelson a shot with her feet set in transition, which he's very capable, obviously, of knocking down.
That's Bibby. Draws a crowd, leaves Woods wide open, and they pay the price.
And that's what Coach Seabaum was calling for when they run that Spanish action, letting the play develop and getting the ball to the shooter when they're open. Atwell.
Bibby. Just won't drop right now, and suddenly it's Townsville feeling confident again. They're back up by 8. It's been a great response. Samuelson. Heal steps inside and lays 2 more in. It's a 10-point game all of a sudden, and this game takes another twist.
Wow, what a response. But this is what great teams do. This is what teams that are fighting for finals do, is they make adjustments, they make responses. And same with the coaches. The coaches know each other, know how each other play. It's just a great game of basketball.
This timeout brought to you by Aussie Hoops. 42,000 5 to 10-year-olds last year enjoyed the program. Enroll your kids at aussiehoops.basketball. Let's take it inside the Perth huddle now. Here's Ryan Petrick.
We're switching the guards in Spain. That's 9 points now. We've got that wrong. We're down 10. Now, can we do it or can't we? If we can't, I can adjust it. Can we do it? Then we're switching the guards in Spain. We good? They're not attacking the rim on it. It's a kick out 3 every time. So again, you see that backdoor cut action, it morphs into the Spain action. Okay? It's pretty straightforward. Offensively, again, keep the ball moving. If Z's on the floor, I want delay. If she's on you, whatever. If she's not on you, finds the team aside. We good? Split.
Our resident translator.
What I liked about that timeout was he was quite deliberate in what he wanted from his team. He gave them explicit instructions on the adjustments he wanted to see. So on the Spanish action, he wants the guard that's defending the back screen to actually take the on-ball, person coming off the on-ball, so that there's no open three-point shot. Conversely, he wants them to attack Zatina on the other side of the floor. So I'm not sure exactly what actions he was talking about and what they call them, but he wants Zatina involved in the actions offensively.
10-point game. Lynx have it all to do again. They trailed by 22. They actually got their noses in front in this last quarter. They now have to respond once more. Bibi, is it knocked away? She gets it back. Pressure from Akuzo. Will shoot over the top of Zatina and make the shot.
That is just a tough shot. But that's what Chloe Bibi likes to do on that baseline jumper. She likes to fade away. You got to know your scout.
8-point game. Still hangs in the balance. You get the feeling Perth might come again. Lovely move from Heal. Now she runs into traffic. Has to bring it back out for Woods, who's been hot. Woods against Bibi. Can she get some space? Shot clock down to 4. Goes herself, uses the body and finishes. Patience from Courtney Woods.
That was great balance from Courtney Woods, but I will say that Perth executed the defensive adjustment that Petrick wanted out of the timeout. They didn't give up that three-point shot in the Spanish action.
Sure. Atwell, now Whitcomb. Flips it back, drew the traffic, opened the door for Scherf, won't go. And Woods is fouled from behind by Sammy Whitcomb.
Here you see Courtney Woods driving down, absorbing the contact, using her body, great body control, and being able to make that tough finish.
So far, so good for Townsville. They've responded. Perth stormed back, got their nose in front. It's been very impressive from the visitors to stabilise the situation and then pull away once again. Under 5.5 to play. Heal. Now Woods. Nice screen from Akuzo. Gave her just the space she needed.
And that was
making some important shots.
She really is. And that probably wouldn't be what Petrick wanted defensively, going under on Courtney Woods. She's known as a three-point shooter.
Scherf gets a second opportunity. She'll grab a third and then is fouled by Woods in the scramble. So Courtney up to 16 points now. Samuelson's got 26, 16 for Woods, 15 for Hawkins. Meanwhile, for Perth, 21 for Robbie Ryan and then 9 for Scherf. So you can see what an impact Robbie Ryan's had as we go courtside to Candy.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that just happened then, because the offensive rebounds is exactly what Shannon said to focus on. They're crucial. Get in there, get quicker, especially Carly and Woodsy. Also, Robbie Ryan is the focus. They said you need to start chasing her. It's exactly what you just said, Jace.
Yeah, she's been deadly, hasn't she? Candy's been really impressive as Scherf lays in another 2. It's back to a 10-point game. This can swing quickly either way from here. These two teams play again on Saturday night. In a couple of days of recovery, that's for sure. Heal for a deep 3. Welcome back to Townsville, Shyla Heal. Huge shot, margin back out to 13.
Massive shot, and you can see she's starting to feel a little more comfortable in the second half, which is understandable considering the nerves that would have entered the first half of this game.
Sammy can't respond for Perth. Opportunity here for Townsville to slam the door shut. If they can have a good minute or two. Heal. Not this time.
That, however, might not have been necessarily the shot Shannon's after. Wants ball movement against Perth to test their defense. And I think while you can get that shot in an offense, can you get a better shot later? In his timeouts, he was saying, we can always get good shots, but can we get a great shot?
Sharp fouled by Ruth. Hawkins has 4 fouls for Townsville. No one else any more than 2, so no foul issues on their side. And similarly for Perth, Robbie Ryan's got 3 and Whitcomb's got 3. That's the most in the game for them. So neither team with players in foul problems at the moment. But Sharp misses the first. 77% free throw shooter in her career. Bad, 33% rather. Sorry, 77, you're right. Free throw percentage, as I keep correcting myself. Here's Heal. 13-point game. Made that huge bucket. Woods has been so important for them. What Samuelson did in the first half, Woods has done in the second, really. She's taken over. Sharp, Whitcomb, steps past Woods. Can't finish, but draws a foul.
And Coach Petrick would have to be happy with how they're now defending the Spanish action. They haven't given up a 3. The guards are effectively switching out. It's allowing for stops like this, which has led to a transition, and Sammy being able to get downhill and on the rim and go to the foul line.
No, she's not at 100%, Sammy Whitcomb, with this back issue. 7 points for the evening. Make that 8. So you do the sums in your head now, Kels. It's 3.5 minutes to play. She makes this one. It's an 11-point game. Where does it sit in terms of Perth needing to do something different? Do they stick to what they do and try to execute better?
Well, I was going to say, I would expect to see some extended pressure. They're going to need to find a way to shorten the possessions for Townsville, get some stops so they can get out and run and give themselves a chance to close out this game.
Heal. Hawkins is wide open. Off the front of the iron, Atwell to Ryan, who's been outstanding. Robbie Ryan with 21 of her own. Nice little step there from Atwell. She gets to the rack, lays in 2 more, and it's back to a single-digit game. 9 points with 3 minutes to play. Heal bounces it to Woods, who takes it cleverly. Samuelson. Heal, more prominent in this final term. Really warming into the game. Her first game since January the 15th. Michaela with a big shot. That's a dagger.
And that is a huge 3 from Mick Ruth. Scherf closed her out for the drive, gave her the space, and Mick knocked it down.
Back to 12. Ryan the response. It's short, but she'll get her own ball back and keep it alive. Clock the enemy now. 2 minutes and a bit to play. Scherf brings it back to 10 points.
That was a great pass from Sammy Whitcomb and great finish with the contested layup from Lauren Scherf.
Roof to Woods. Townsville happy to work the clock deep here. Heal. Will go herself. Can't finish. Scherf comes up with it. Ryan. Does she stop and prop? Sharp receives from Scherf. Now Whitcomb. Can Sammy get hot late? Hawkins off to Heal. The Lynx just need to be tidy here. Sorry, the Fire need to be tidy here. The Lynx need to be spectacular. Samuelson. Lovely look away pass. Ruth can't finish, but as she has so often tonight, comes up with the board. Crashing through was Hawkins. The story of the night for Townsville. They've dominated the glass, given themselves second opportunities and taken them away from Perth.
That's exactly what they've done, which is a really important part of what Perth does with the way they shoot and the way they play. They often get a lot of offensive rebound putbacks, but the Fire have clearly made that an emphasis tonight, and they just haven't been able to get those looks that they normally would. Credit to the Fire and really keying in on rebounding.
40-34 in favour of Townsville. Ryan against Heal. Margin at 12 with a minute to play. Atwell from deep. Bibby back to 10. Samuelson confronted at the half court by Atwell. Gets it to Roof, who's fouled. It's been an impressive response from Townsville. on the road against a team that's won 7 in a row, who come charging back from 22 points down. And Perth now bring some bench players in.
And
the final minute.
And probably something we haven't talked about a lot is doing this without Reed or Nicholson. You know, we've been talking a lot about what the Fire have been able to do, but they've done it without 2 huge pieces of their puzzle, which is really, really impressive.
Speaks volumes for their system and for their role players and bench players getting more opportunity. The likes of Ledger Walker, Samuelson having an amazing night. Roof's been fantastic. Woods has taken over in the second half. Hawkins has just done her job, come up with 15 points and 11 rebounds. Roof, 13 points, 12 rebounds. It's been a real team effort.
It really has. When you look at their starting 5 and what they've been able to do to contribute to get this win, it's really impressive. It's never easy to win, to beat Perth on the road. So what they've been able to piece together, given everything that's happened in recent, over the last 24 hours, 48 hours, really speaks to the mindset of this Fire team and the way that Coach Shannon Seabaum has them playing.
Could be a season-defining win for the Fire, not only in terms of the ladder, but just in terms of their mindset and their grit, and what they've been able to show tonight. That first half in particular, but the second quarter where they put up 31 points was just scintillating basketball. Final 30 seconds. And Choi Card forced up. Offensive foul. Courtney Woods has had one heck of a second half. She's up to 20 points.
She really has, and she's done exactly what they've needed to. Petrick talked about looking to attack her defensively. She held her own, but I think what's really going to be interesting is with a quick turnaround, what's Saturday's game going to look like?
They meet again Saturday night. Shyla Heal will bounce it out. And it's 6 straight for the Townsville Fire. They snap Perth's 7-game winning streak and move 2 games clear of the Lynx, joining the Boomers at 11-4. Perth, of course, with a chance to claw this loss back when they host Townsville once again on Saturday night. But advantage Fire, they win the first of this doubleheader, 91-81. And they could barely have been more impressive, particularly in the first half when they set it up with electrifying basketball, and then in the final quarter when they won it with composed basketball.
Well, they did, and I think whenever you listen to the timeouts, you could hear Coach Seabaum saying the adjustments that they needed to make and where they were falling short. And I think their execution throughout the entire game, while they did have lapses, I don't necessarily know how much of it was them versus just the powerhouse that is the Perth Lynx, and they're always going to come charging regardless. So I think for me, their ability to adjust to how the game was being played and what Coach Petrick was throwing at them really was the difference in this game. And I should say the sheer grit, winning the rebound count, especially on the road, that's always going to put you in a position to be successful.
They led by 22 points late in the second term. The Lynx steadily worked their way back and hit the front early in the final quarter. And at that stage, it looked like all Perth. They were going to roll over the top of Townsville. But the Fire had other ideas. A smart timeout or two to just settle things down. They regained their composure, got the game back on their terms, and in the end run out comfortable 10-point winners. And as we mentioned, a huge game in the context of the ladder. They're now 2 games clear of the Lynx. They meet again on Saturday night. Let's head courtside. Here's Candy.
Carly Samuelson with me and having a moment herself. Player of the game, you're allowed at 26 points. That is now 6 in the row for your team. What do you think the winning formula is?
Just playing as a team. You know, anyone can step up. People are unselfish, play hard on defense. Shannon coaches as well. Just good vibes.
It felt like good vibes out there. I have to say, though, that was a scary one in the third quarter, I imagine. They gave you a bit of a scare, closed that gap. What did you do to get it back on your terms?
Just stuck in there. I mean, Woody made some big plays down there in the stretch. Shyla, you know, first day on the job, did a good job. Crystal stepped in. Yeah, like you said, they came out hot in the third, and Perth is that kind of team. They can get you shaking a little bit, but we stuck with it, and I'm proud of us.
Well done. It was quite a crowd in here tonight as well, so good job. And great having Shyla on the team. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, very first day, look at her stepping up. I'm happy to have her. I think she's happy to be here, so I think it's a good thing for us.
You've got a great role on the team as well. You didn't want to do this interview straight off because you wanted to make sure you were in with the team, having that moment. What's the leadership for you like in the team?
Oh, this is my first year in Australia. I mean, I've played pro for a little while now, so I'm just like learning from the girls. When you're in a new country, a new league, they know a lot about the players. They've grown up here and played, so I'm just trying to take it all in and learn from Shannon as well.
Well, congratulations and good luck for the game again on Saturday. Another matchup right here, so good luck for that one.
Thanks.
Okay.
Well done to Carly Samuelson, 26 points tonight on 10 of 15 shooting. Was just electrifying early and helped set up that big lead. 16 points in the first term, Kels. She exploded out of the blocks.
She really did, and I think that's something that she's done at different times for this team, but it's usually alongside Reed or Nicholson. So tonight for her to kind of make that impact statement, I think in the first quarter, kind of steady the ship, let the Fire know, not that they ever thought that they were in doubt, but let them know that it was going to be okay. And then eventually everyone else started contributing in, and I think that shows why the Fire is such a deadly team, because like she said, they play team basketball. They share the ball, they look after each other, they play hard defense, they're well coached. And to respond to how they did on the road shows why they're a finals contention team and why they're sitting where they are on the ladder.
Samuelson got off the chain in the first half, then Courtney Wood stepped up in the second half and had 20 points as well. Great performance tonight from the Townsville Fire. I imagine a very satisfied coach. Shannon Seabohm is with Candy.
I imagine so too. We'll have to ask him. Shannon, how happy are you with your team right now?
Yeah, really proud. I think, we've had a bit of a weird couple of weeks, a lot of injuries, and even players today playing with little things that are going on. So, really proud of the girls. Perth have been playing fantastic, and they showed in the third quarter why they're such a great team. And, couldn't be happier with the result.
What did you say to the team in that third quarter to help them get through that?
Oh, look, we knew they were going to make a run. I think we went away from what was actually working for us throughout the game, and we probably got a bit passive on offense. And I think once we fixed that, managed to put together a bit of a run in the fourth there, we were fine.
And you're going to be having 4 games in 9 days in 3 states. What do you guys do in the next couple of days to prepare for the next matchup once again?
Lots of rest. Like I said, we got some sore bodies. The girls have, tonight was really physical. They played really hard. So lots of rest. We'll watch some tape. We've got to practice on Friday, and then we'll be ready to go for Saturday. What
will the action plan be, do you think, after today? Or are you going to go back, watch some tape and make a decision?
Yeah, look, I think we need to do more of the same. I'm sure they'll make some adjustments, so we'll hopefully be ready for those. And, I think we'll get a lot of confidence out of today.
And, of course, you've got Shyla back on the team after having her during the hub season. How happy are you to have her back, and what's your plan for her?
Yeah, look, really happy. She's a great kid. I obviously coached her in the hub, and, she knows our team really well, knows me really well. So, I think once we've got a bit of time to integrate her in and hopefully get Steph and Lauren back, we'll be looking all right.
Do you have a set plan for her in the team yet?
No, look, for now she's going to come off the bench. She's just joined us, and we'll just see what happens after that.
Well, congratulations again. That's 6 in a row. I can enjoy you a little bit of a rest.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Shannon.
Well done to Shannon Seabohm. Thanks for his time. A happy Shyla Heal. Great start to her second stint with the Townsville Fire. And Kels, this is a little bit like a finals preview in the sense that you've now got a game 1 out of the way and you've got a game 2 in a couple of days. So both teams will have, it's a pretty good scouting game, because during this game, both teams had periods where they were in control and periods where they lost control. So there's things that you learn that work for you and things that didn't.
I definitely think so, and I think Coach Petrick will probably show his team the first quarter and talk about how, probably express again, why are we playing like this, what kind of the disappointment that he had in the start, and I think more the intensity and intent, and that happens as a player when you've been on the road for a long time when you come back. And so I think he'll gain a lot of confidence, or he'll give his team a lot of confidence, saying even though this was our start, we were able to achieve this in the third quarter. When we play our basketball, when we play defense, when we're locked into our schemes, this is what we're capable of. If we put 3-4 quarters of this together, we'll have a different result on Saturday. So I think as much as it's disappointing to lose, and you never want to lose, there's oftentimes more that you can learn out of a loss. And sometimes when you're in the middle of a long stretch of wins, a loss isn't the worst thing, because it kind of reminds you of all the little deficits that you need to get better to be in that contention, to win that championship, to make the finals. So I think for Perth, while you never want to lose, this might not be the worst loss, because they'll learn a lot from it, especially against a great side like the Fire.
Shyla Heal worked herself into the game really nicely tonight and had a big impact in that final term in particular. Here she is with Candy.
She sure did. Shyla, it's great to see you in new colours. How are you feeling? Big smile on your face.
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. It's great to be back with the Townsville team. I really missed it, and yeah, I'm just really glad.
How much did coaching from Shannon in the past, of course, in the hub season, how much did that impact your decision to join Townsville?
It was a big decision coming here playing under Shannon, but it was a pretty easy one. I had offers overseas, so I was training every day to go overseas, but then this came up and yeah, I just really wanted to come play for Shannon again.
That was going to be my next question. What have you been doing in the last couple of weeks? Just continuing that training?
Yeah, just on the court working out. Got my tan, went to the beach a little bit, but yeah, I was really going to go overseas, so just working out every day for that.
Well, you look fabulous, of course. Now, you had a great chance. I mean, you only just got to Perth. You're probably going to enjoy the sun here as well. You'd only got to join the team from yesterday, so you haven't even had a chance to train with them. Got to win straight off the bat on the court. What do you think is going to change when you get a chance to actually get some training in?
Well, I'm really just coming in, doing whatever the team needs and playing whatever role they need. So whether that's little or big, I'm really excited either way, and yeah, I'm just excited for what's to come and being with this team.
And what are you hoping you can probably contribute to the team as well? We're in that final stretch, the last few games before finals. What are you thinking?
Like I said before, I think I can contribute any way they need. I can play the 1, I can play the 2, just anything they need, and yeah, I'm just really excited to play with these girls and hopefully get some wins.
Well, good luck. Well done. First match out here in a win. That's got to feel good.
Yes, really good, and can't wait to come play in Townsville.
Oh, fantastic. Well done, Shyla. We look forward to seeing you out here some more.
Thank you.
Well done to Shyla Heal. Finished the night with
She would have had a rough couple of weeks.
yeah.